Very good morning. You're watching the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television, your one-stop morning show for top stories from India and across the globe. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor, and let us start the news bulletin with the headlines. In a concerted action against black money, Income Tax Department launches major operation to investigate cases of illegal funds and properties of Indians abroad. May invoke a new anti-black money law for strict criminal action in many cases. Thousands under scanner. Last date of nominations for first phases of assembly elections in Chhattisgarh today. Chief Minister Raman Singh to file nomination from Ranjangaon. Congress fields Karuna Shukla against the Chief Minister. Prime Minister Modi and Amit Shah among BJP's star campaigners for the state. Supreme Court's verdict on pleas seeking ban on manufacture and sale of firecrackers across country to curb air pollution likely today. Court had said it needs to take into account fundamental right of livelihood and right to health while deciding the plea. Air quality in Delhi likely to dip in coming days following fire at landfill site. Turkish President Erdogan prepares to reveal what he said are naked truth about the death of journalist Jamal Khashoggi today. Turkey says murder was savagely planned as evidence of a body double emerges. US President not satisfied with Saudi Arabia's explanation of what it called a rogue operation. And Bajrang Punia becomes the first Indian to win 2 medals at the World Wrestling Championships, settles for silver after losing the final bout. Indian men's hockey team to take on Malaysia in their 4th match at the Asian Champions Trophy in Muscat. The top story this morning, the Income Tax Department has launched a major operation to investigate cases of illegal funds and properties stashed abroad by Indians. The department may invoke the new anti-black money law for strict criminal action in many such cases. The department, in coordination with their foreign counterparts, is investigating offshore bank deposits and the purchase of assets by thousands of Indians. The CBDT chairman, Sushil Chandra, also confirmed the move, but he refused to elaborate. Officials, however, said that the taxman, armed with vital transaction details of overseas transactions from the Financial Intelligence Unit and other sources, is working on such cases across the country, and this was part of a major concerted action against black money. In a number of cases, notices have been issued to individuals or other category of taxpayers to explain their transactions. A number of these cases involve a high-profile and prominent people, while several high-net-worth individuals are also under the scanner. However, only these cases will face criminal action against the new anti-black money law, which have not been reflected before the taxman in the income tax returns or have been done with an intent to evade taxes. The government brought this new law, the Black Money Undisclosed Foreign Income and Assets and Imposition of Tax Act, in 2015. This new legislation has provisions for a steep 120% tax and penalty on undisclosed foreign assets and income, besides a jail term of up to 10 years. The Central Board of Direct Taxes has released key statistics on income tax and direct taxes paid over the last 4 years. The policy-making body for the Income Tax Department reported that the number of taxpayers earning above 1 crore rupees per annum has increased to over 1.4 lakh in the country in the last 4 years. In 2014-15, this figure was just 88,649. In the assessment year 2017-18, the figure turned out to be 1,40,139, which is a growth of about 60%. The taxpayers include corporates, firms, Hindu undivided families, among others. Further, the number of individual taxpayers disclosing incomes above 1 crore rupees per annum has increased from 48,416 to 81,344 in the same period. Average income declared by the salaried and non-salaried categories of taxpayers also increased over the past 3 years. An 80% growth was seen in the number of returns filed in the last 4 financial years. Taxpayers have gone up from 3.79 crore in 2013 to 6.85 crore in 2017-18. CBDT Chairman Sushil Chandra said that these numbers are the result of putting in a number of legislative, informative and enforcement efforts by the tax department over the last 4 years. On to some other news now. The CBI on Monday arrested its Deputy Superintendent of Police Devendra Kumar in connection with the bribery allegations involving its Special Director and Second-in-Command Rakesh Asthana. Devendra Kumar was the investigation officer in an IT raid involving meat exporter Moin Qureshi, accused in the 2014 money laundering case. Kumar was arrested on the allegations of forgery in recording the statement of another businessman, Satish Sena, who had alleged to have paid bribes to get relief in the Moin Qureshi case. It is alleged that a statement of Sena was purportedly recorded on 28th of September 2018 by the investigating team headed by Asthana, but it emerged in the CBI probe that Sena was in Hyderabad on that given day. The CBI has alleged that Devendra Kumar had fabricated the statement to corroborate allegations made by Asthana against CBI Director Alok Verma. Asthana had complained against CBI Director Verma in August that he had taken bribe from Sena to give him relief in the matter. On the election-related news now, today is the last date for filing nominations for the first phase of the elections in Chhattisgarh, scheduled on 12th of November. Chief Minister Raman Singh will today file nomination from Ranjanandgaon Assembly constituency in the presence of senior party leaders and Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. The scrutiny of nominations will be completed on 24th of October, while nominations can be withdrawn till 26th of October. The first phase will see 18 constituencies in 8 Naxal-hit districts going to the polls, and the second phase will be held on 20th of November, and the results will be out on 11th of December. And the Congress party has released its second list of candidates for the first phase of Chhattisgarh Assembly elections. The party has fielded Karuna Shukla from Ranjanandgaon Assembly constituency in Chhattisgarh against Chief Minister Raman Singh. In the second list, it declared its candidates for the remaining 6 constituencies. The party had earlier declared candidates for 12 seats. The first phase of the assembly election will be held on 12th of November. The Congress is out of power in Chhattisgarh for the last 15 years. Meanwhile, the BJP announced its list of star campaigners for the Chhattisgarh Assembly elections on Monday. And among the list of campaigners are Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Party President Amit Shah and other senior leaders. And senior Congress leader and former Finance Minister P. Chidambaram has said that the Congress party has never officially declared Rahul Gandhi as its prime ministerial candidate for the 2019 elections. Speaking to a television channel, Chidambaram insisted that the focus of the Congress party was on removing the BJP government and replacing it with a progressive alternative. The former union minister said that the prime ministerial post is not an issue for the Congress currently. He said the decision as to who will be the Prime Minister in case of an opposition alliance winning next year's Lok Sabha polls will be taken by its constituents. He further said that the Congress has never said that the Prime Minister should be from the party. He said alliance parties will decide as to who will be the Prime Minister. And an election commission team led by CEC O.P. Rawat held meetings with the representatives of political parties in Hyderabad on Monday to review preparedness for the upcoming Telangana Assembly elections. It held separate meetings with the representatives of all 9 parties, including the ruling TRS, BJP, BSP, CPI, CPIM and Congress, among others. And during the meeting, Congress and BJP raised the issue of alleged discrepancies and bogus voters in the electoral rolls in the state. The team is expected to meet all the electoral officers and superintendents of police on all the districts today. The 11-member high-level team reached Hyderabad on Monday on a 3-day visit to the state. The Election Commission team is visiting Telangana for the first time after the election schedule for the state was announced. Telangana is scheduled to go to polls on 7th of December. And another big story of the day, the Supreme Court is likely to pronounce its verdict on a plea seeking a ban on the manufacture and sale of firecrackers across the country to curb air pollution. A bench of Justices A.K. Sikri and Ashok Bhushan had reserved its verdict on 28th of August. The apex court had earlier said that there is a need to take into account all the aspects, including the fundamental right of livelihood of firecracker manufacturers and the right of health of over 1.3 billion people in the country, while considering the plea for the ban. It had asked the centre to suggest measures to be taken for curbing air pollution and what will be the effect of firecrackers on the public at large. Firecrackers manufacturers had earlier told the court that the use of firecrackers should not be completely banned and that it should instead be strictly regulated. They said that the crackers are not the reason for increase in air pollution and there are other factors like wind and temperature. On 9th of October last year, the top court temporarily banned the sale of firecrackers ahead of Diwali. The apex court said that its ban order during Diwali that year was an experiment to examine its effect on the pollution levels in the region. Meanwhile, in related news, air quality in parts of Delhi continued to remain in the very poor category on Monday, while the overall status was poor. Experts have said that air quality might also deteriorate in the coming days due to the toxic air coming out of a fire at a landfill site. In most parts of Delhi, the AQI was over 200, which is considered poor. Meanwhile, Delhi Environment Minister Imran Hussain expressed serious concern over the fire that broke out in Balawa, since Delhi is already under the adverse impact of stubble burning in the neighbouring states, which is likely to aggravate the air quality in the city in the coming days. With winter and Diwali approaching, air quality in the national capital is set to worsen. The Supreme Court will announce a date to hear the petitions seeking review of the Sabrimala verdict today. The Travancore Devasam Board said that it has the responsibility to protect the faith of devotees and traditions of the shrine and will take a decision on the legal course to be taken in the Supreme Court, where review petitions have been filed against its recent order. The Sabrimala temple that opened for the monthly puja on 17th of October for the first time after the apex court order has seen a standoff with angry devotees, preventing at least a dozen women in the age group of 10 to 50 years from entering the shrine. The temple closed last night after 5 days monthly puja and will reopen on 17th of November for a 3-month-long annual pilgrimage. The Supreme Court has given the centre time till 26th of October to respond to the petitions challenging new amendments in the SC/ST Act. In its order on Monday, the apex court asked the centre to file its reply after the Solicitor General sought time on this issue. In its last hearing on 7th of September, the apex court said that the new amendments passed by Parliament cannot be stayed at this stage. Parliament on 9th of August had passed the bill to overturn the apex court's March order, considering certain safeguards against the arrest under the SC/ST law. And the next hearing on the matter is fixed for 20th of November. And here is a look at some more stories that is making news from across the country in Nationwide. 3 more persons tested positive for Zika virus in Jaipur on Monday. This takes the total number of such cases in the state to 126. Out of 126 patients, 111 have recovered after treatment. The Rajasthan Health Department's 5-member committee is investigating, examining and tracking Zika virus disease in pregnant patients. 39 positive cases of swine flu have so far been registered in Puducherry. Officials of the Health Department have been kept on high alert. The Health Minister held discussions with the Director of Health Service and officials of the Public Health Wing of the department and reviewed the steps taken to prevent the spread of swine flu, dengue and chikungunya in the Union Territory. The carcasses of 3 lion cubs were found from the outskirts of a village near the Gir Wildlife Sanctuary in Gujarat on Monday. And primary investigations have revealed that the 3 cubs in the age group of 4 to 5 months were killed by male lions during infighting between prides to establish dominance. Earlier this last month, as many as 23 lions died in the forest, reportedly due to infighting and viral infection. Nearly 50,000 people have lost their lives between 2015 and 2017 on railway tracks after being hit by trains. According to official data from the Indian Railways, most of the deaths were reported from the Northern Railway Zone, followed by Southern Railway Zone and then the Eastern Railway Zone. And in Breakfast News, time for a very short break here. We'll be right back with more news. Welcome back after the break. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has said that love of service and nation should be the driving force for the youth. Addressing an event in New Delhi on Monday, Vice President Naidu said that the practice of law is a public service and an officer of the court of law has certain responsibilities to the public. The Vice President praised the contributions of former Attorney General Palisam Nariman to the field of jurisprudence while presenting the 19th Lal Bahadur Shastri National Award for Excellence in Public Administration to him. Remembering former Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri, the Vice President called him an exemplary leader with legendary humility, courage, determination, integrity and moral uprightness.
I admire the mission that Lal Bahadur Shastriji Institute of Management has. The very basis of the institute's pragmatic education are deeply embedded moral values and social responsiveness. The Lal Bahadur Shastri National Award for Excellence in Public Administration, instituted by this organization, certainly upholds the vision of Shastriji. I am glad that it values and honors people who have brought about profound transformation in the environment that they exist in.
On to some other news. With a view to contain the increasing menace of terrorism in Asia, India and China on Monday signed an agreement on security cooperation in Delhi. Home Minister Rajnath Singh signed the agreement with the Chinese Minister of Public Security, Zhao Kezi, after extensive talks on related issues. This is the first such agreement between the two Asian giants. The agreement is signed as a result of understanding reached between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping in Wuhan earlier this year during an informal summit. The agreement includes cooperation in counter-terrorism, organized crime, drug control and other related issues. The agreement also includes a direct mechanism of a contact between two home ministers in emergency situations. Chinese Public Security Minister Zhao Kezi is on a bilateral visit to India from 21st to 25th of October, during which he will also travel to Mumbai. The visit is considered important with a view to increasing confidence between the two countries. And India and Croatia signed 2 agreements on Monday to strengthen cultural and diplomatic cooperation. The agreements were signed following External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj's meeting with the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Croatia in New Delhi. Both the leaders discussed cooperation avenues in trade and investment, health, science and technology, education, tourism and culture. And India and Japan will increase connectivity beyond the boundaries of the two countries. Accordingly, Japan is expected to invest in projects connecting India with Bhutan, Myanmar and Bangladesh. Contours for this project will be decided at the summit between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Prime Minister Modi will visit Tokyo on 28th and 29th of October for the summit. India and Japan are special strategic partners with an annual summit format on the lines with India and Russia. India and Japan share a joint vision of peace and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific and world till 2025. Our correspondent Akhilesh Suman spoke to Japan's ambassador in India, Kenji Hiramatu, on the outcome of Prime Minister Modi's visit.
Ambassador, this might be the last summit meeting between Prime Minister Narendra Modi before 2019 election. So what important outcome do you see during this summit?
As usual, they'll have a very frank exchange of views in very strategic manner. And I hope that some concrete projects, including security and connectivity agenda, will come out after their discussions. I'm hopeful that it will be another very successful meeting.
In economic field, it seems that Japan is a bit hesitant in investing in India. How do you think about it?
I don't agree with that. Japanese companies are very keen to support India's development. Japan is the biggest investors in the manufacturing sector. I know that many Japanese business leaders are very eager to invest in this country and partner with Indian companies.
So how do you think Quad might be discussed in this summit?
I think Quad is a very important mechanism, but Quad is one of the several mechanisms to support our Indo-Pacific vision. So our two prime ministers will discuss how to achieve our same goal. It means that this Indo-Pacific will be open, transparent, and free, and prosperous, and inclusive. So in this way, two prime ministers will discuss how to achieve this common goal.
Thank you so much, Ambassador. So Ambassador is telling that this visit might see something new in India-Japan relationship, and that is the best thing between the two countries. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Television with camera person Dusmanta in Delhi.
And with a view to create an atmosphere of peace and prosperity in the Rakhine region and curb distress migration, India and Myanmar signed an MOU on Monday. The MOU is for the appointment of a private port operator for the operation and maintenance of a Sitwe port, Paletwa Inland Water Terminal and associated facilities that are part of the Kaladan Multi-Modal Transport Project. The MOU was signed during Foreign Secretary Vijay Gokhale's official Myanmar visit on Monday. Gokhale also called on the State Councillor Aung San Suu Kyi. The MOU is a significant step in the implementation of India's Act East policy, as its signing will enhance Myanmar's connectivity, including with India, and add to the development of the whole region, particularly in the Rakhine and Chin states of Myanmar. It would also add to local infrastructure capacity and help in creating more job opportunities for the local people. And India has reacted sharply to Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan's comments about Kashmir. The MEA has said that Pakistan should look inwards and address its own issues. Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson Ravish Kumar said that Pakistan Prime Minister's tweet was regrettable. The ministry said that Pakistan would serve the interest of the people of the region by taking credible action against all kind of support to terrorism and terror infrastructure from all territories under its control, rather than supporting and glorifying terrorists and terror activities against India and its other neighbours. The Foreign Ministry also targeted Imran Khan for his country's deceitful stand on dialogue. This came after Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan tweeted on the death of 6 civilians in a blast at a house in South Kashmir on Sunday. The MEA's reaction also came just a day after a border action team of Pakistani army crossed the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir and killed 3 Indian soldiers in an ambush. And now an update on the death of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. A senior US official has held talks with Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince in Riyadh. US Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin met with the Mohammed bin Salman on Monday. Saudi officials have given a series of conflicting accounts, but now say that a rogue operation was to blame. Meanwhile, a leaked video showing Khashoggi's body double leaving Saudi consulate has emerged. According to the surveillance footage broadcast by CNN, on the day Khashoggi was killed in the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, a man walked out of the building apparently wearing Khashoggi's clothes. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump said on Monday that he's unsatisfied with Saudi Arabia's explanations of what happened to missing journalist Jamal Khashoggi, but he does not want to lose investment from Riyadh. Turkish officials say that Khashoggi was murdered in the Saudi consulate in Istanbul after a visit on 2nd of October. The country says that the killing of Khashoggi was a complicated murder that had been monstrously planned. The country's President Recep Erdogan will today reveal what he calls is the naked truth about Khashoggi's death in his country's parliament. All the sporting action now. Indian wrestler Bajrang Punia lost his 65-kilogram freestyle final of the World Wrestling Championship and he had to settle for the silver medal. Punia lost his final bout to Takuto Otoguru of Japan 16-9. But despite losing his bout, he became only the fourth Indian ever to make it to the World Championship gold medal match. Punia, who had won a bronze medal in 2013 edition of the tournament while competing in the 60-kilogram category and a silver in this edition, made him the only Indian wrestler to win 2 medals at the World Championship. And while the win, Otoguru became Japan's youngest world champion at the age of just 19. An Indian men's hockey team will face Malaysia today in their 4th round-robin match of the Asian Champions Trophy at Muscat. The men in blue are unbeaten in the tournament so far, and earlier India had defeated Japan 9-0 in their 3rd round-robin match, which was India's 3rd straight win in the tournament. India had registered a convincing 11-0 win over the hosts Oman in their opening game before beating arch rivals Pakistan 3-1 in the 2nd round-robin match. And after today's match, India will next meet South Korea on Wednesday, which will be their last and the final round-robin match. And the French Open Badminton tournament will kickstart in Paris today. The tournament will continue up to the 28th of this month, and Indian shuttlers, including defending champion Kidambi Srikanth, PV Sindhu and Saina Nehwal, will be eyeing their first major title of the year after failing to win recently concluded Denmark Open. 3rd seeded Sindhu will face Zhang Biwen of China in the first round today, while Saina Nehwal will take on 37th seeded Saina Kawakami of Japan on Wednesday in the first round. And in the men's singles, Srikanth will face world number 22 Wong Wing Ki Vincent of China in the first round tomorrow. And in the mixed doubles, Ashwini Punappa and Satvik Sairaj Ranki Reddy will take on English duo of Chris Adcock and Gabriel Adcock in the first round. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.